Alright guys, I know it's been a while. Today we cover the SPY27 versus S30V versus BD1, kind of where they stand, at least for me in use, how I perceive the value for performance in each one, what the different prices are, and so on. I've done all three of these for the same amount of carry, 2 weeks each. Not going to bore everybody with all the total everything this time. I will tell you what I did is going off the sheet for the S30V, whatever may have been lacking for the BD1N and the SPY27. If I was a few zip ties short, 10 feet of cardboard short, I went ahead and just cut some stuff to make sure they all had an equal amount of use on them. So I'll start off by showing you how sharp each one is. This is after 2 weeks of use and then stropped on 1 micron. All of them done 5 passes per side. They all had equal amount of stropping during the process. I pretty much tried to mirror what I did with this one for the other two so that it was as fair of a comparison as possible. BD1N, plenty sharp. S30V, plenty sharp. SPY27. So, since I've already covered S30V, I'm not going to go over that a whole lot. The BD1N, all three of these are very close in daily use. Yeah, different cutting edges, I get all that. They're all very close in use. Where they do differ is the price point on all of these. Now, yes, 2 Spydercos and a Benchmade, just because that's what I used. You could substitute some other S30V here, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. So BD1N, like I've said before, I found it to be a lot like S30V. In extended use, I don't think it is quite as good as S30V as far as the ultimate edge retention. This does drop back very well. This S30V and SPY27 also, they all drop back very well. This drops back. It's crazy how good some of these newer steels drop back, and for being production steels, they're actually done halfway decent. So no issues with BD1. If you've used S30V for an extended period of time, especially if you're a lighter user, then you're probably not going to notice a whole lot of difference between BD1N and S30V. Like I said, we already covered this guy. And then we come to the SPY27. Where it was talked about on the Spyderco forums and that, it is supposed to be like a modified VG10, and I can kind of see that in use. The difference being, as a direct comparison to VG10, which I did a carry on not that long ago, this does stay sharp. The initial sharpness lasts a good bit longer, and the overall sharpness lasts quite a bit longer. How much longer? I sharpened the VG10 twice during 2 weeks of use, and I sharpened this no times during 2 weeks of use. So that kind of gives you an idea. I believe this did about 165 feet total in a 1-inch section. This did a little over 180 in a 1-inch section, and this did in the mid 170 range, so very close between the three. Now I am going to put all three of these through the edge stability and impact resistance testing together to give a better idea of how each one's going to stack up. What I did like about this is I know initially from doing the edge retention testing, I wasn't terribly thrilled with it. It's a pretty good steel. The good part being when you strop this back, it's almost like you didn't use it. Unless you have edge damage, which you're not going to strop out anyway, this is going to come back pretty close to what your initial sharpness was. Even now, after 2 weeks of use and just 5 passes per side on 1 micron on leather, it's good. The entire length of the edge will still shave. Way better than I expected it to do. BD1N, yes, while it does still shave, you can definitely feel the difference on your skin between the condition of the apex on the BD1N versus the SPY27. Now the S30V, it feels a whole lot closer to the SPY27, the actual level of sharpness. So I am going to do the other testing on this to see how the actual apex holds up. And then I'll give a different thought process on that. But right now, as far as how I would rank these for what I would want to use regardless of the price, still going to go for S30V over the others. SPY27 not too far behind. BD1N. From a price standpoint, even comparing these three knives here, it would be totally different. This is obviously by far the cheapest. It's about $30 cheaper than any of the SPY27 models. And even at its current pricing, this is cheaper than the SPY27 models. I know for the longest time, I know when I picked mine up, this was under $100. But current pricing, we're still $12, $13 cheaper than this here. Now, if you go a step further and you start comparing, maybe you just want to buy a Spyderco. Let's say you have the Native 5 in S30V, or you have the Mannix lightweight in BD1N. Well, now your price gap starts getting, it's pretty big at that point. And this is $140. The BD1N lightweight Mannix is, I believe, $105 now. Maybe $107. It's under $110. It's over $30 cheaper. The Native 5 in S30V is also over $30 cheaper. You guys see where I'm going with this. Unless you like this more aqua blue, or you really just want the Para 3 lightweight or the Native in the cobalt blue, then yeah, go ahead and get it. If you're looking to save some money for what you get here, if you're looking to save, $30, 30 something dollars, the lightweight BD1N Mannix is definitely going to be a better buy in value for performance, just because all these steels cut so close together. Yes, in the future I will do more extended carry on these, or I may even just lay out a spreadsheet of what I'm going to cut, and I'll add some other things in there. We'll cut equally with all of them. I'll try to get some blades that are closer in edge length, or maybe I'll just use 3 different Mannix in the 3 different steels, just to keep it as even as possible. Then everything's the same behind the edge, the same cutting length, the same everything. But I will do that down the road. Keep an eye out later this week for the wood, the aluminum, and brass testing to see how these steels are going to do. I will go ahead and do fresh edges on each one of them before I do that testing. That way everything is totally even. But that's how I ranked them so far. I have zero issue with this. Like a couple other people have stated already, my only problem with it so far is the cost for what you actually get. So, you have any questions, comments, anything like that, you know where to put them. That's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.